Hey peeps, Naisha here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Cold Blue, which is a new story that came out on Romance Club not too long ago. So Cold Blue is the 49th book released on the mobile game Romance Club. This book has been released in May 2025. The author of this book is Yim, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who also wrote Hell and High Water. Now, the plot summary is, will the pressures of emergency medicine make Dr. Thomas shine or shatter? Also, there will be spoilers because I am going to just dive a whole lot into episodes 1 and 2. So you have been warned. Spoilers ahead. So yeah. So let's get into it. Also, before we begin, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, let's get back into it. So we played Dr. Jules Thomas, and basically you can make Jules. This is the first. Yeah, I want to say, this is the first book on Romance Club that you can make Jules either male, female, or non-binary, which I think is cool because there's only one book where you could be a guy, and then all the other books you're playing as a woman and stuff like that. So yeah, I like the fact that this book you could be male, female, or non-binary and things like that, because I don't think they have a non-binary I don't think they have non-binary characters you could play on here and stuff like that. But with Jules, you could have like your character personality could be influenced like two ways. Sympathy, which the character would make a greater effort to understand others and be more open to reconsider their beliefs, and conviction, where the character will have a more authoritative manner and be more vocal when they have disagreements. You also have notoriety. This gives your character more influence in some situation and affects other characters' impression of you. I just want to say that be mindful of notoriety, because that could either make and break how people see your characters. Like, I kid you not, because if you don't have any type of because I know when I play other stories, they have something similar to notoriety. Basically, like, if you don't have that I think they call it authority. If you don't have authority, people will be like, put your character down. I'll be like, don't trust your characters. I'll be like, your character, like, they would just be awful to your character in a way. So be mindful of that. So okay, so the point of the story. So again, we play as Jules, which you could pick any gender. But we play as Jules. Jules is a young doctor at Seattle Seacrest Hospital. Now, during med school, Jules did rotation at Seacrest, but wasn't picked for residency and went to Colorado. After 4 years at Denver Regional, they returned to Seattle because, they finally got into the dream hospital, because Seacrest was always Jules' dream hospital. And let me tell you, Jules I'm not gonna lie, Jules as a person, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of hard to like her because, okay, so in the first episode, she gets off the airplane and she's looking for her mom. However, she sees, oh, before I get into that, let me mention the other side characters. So we have Annette, who is Jules' mother. She's a successful interior designer. Flint can either be a friend or love interest. Also, Flint is non-binary. They are Annette's personal assistant. Dr. Kennedy Williams. I'm thinking that's how you pronounce her name because like she spells Kennedy different. Like the way Kennedy is spelled here is Kenedi. But yeah, Dr. Kennedy Williams could be either a friend or love interest. They have been friends for a long time and went to med school together. We have Dr. Tobias Hendricks. Again, could be a friend or love interest. He's the director of the emergency medicine department. We have Dr. Gail Mendoza. Again, friend or love interest. She works at Seacrest. We have Naomi. I'm thinking it's Naomi or Naomi. I'm thinking it's Naomi. But friend or love interest. He's a barista at Hilltop Espresso. We have Eugene. I cannot pronounce his last name, so I'm not even going to try to. Who could be a friend or love interest. He's a paramedic and in a poly relationship with Dakota. Then we have Dakota, friend or love interest. She's a pilot and in a poly relationship with Eugene. You could also have a poly relationship in the story with Eugene and Dakota if that's the romantic route that you choose on here. But as for like love interests, again, so far you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 love interests. 2 could be in a poly relationship with you, which is Eugene and Dakota. You have 2 male love interests, which is Tobias and Naomi. You have 2 female love. Wait, I wanna say you have 2 female love interests. I wanna say, but it looks like you have only 1 because with Kennedy, they are also described as they. So I'm going to say that you have 1 female love interest and 2 non-binary love interests. Correct me if I'm wrong and stuff like that. But anywho, back to what I was saying. So Jules, basically, she touched down in Seattle because the story is based in Seattle. So she touched down in Seattle, and she's trying to look for her mom because like now that she got into her dream hospital, she basically asked her mom, can she like stay with her, just for a few weeks and things like that. And so she expecting to see her mama. She don't see her mom. She sees Flint, and Flint, like mentions that they are her mother's personal assistant. Sorry about that. They mention that they are her mom's personal assistant, and of course, like Drew's trying to figure out like what's going on, why her mom ain't picking her up, and things like that. And also, not to mention, but Flint also tells I'm sorry, I'm just pausing, but anyway, Flint tells Jules that like not only is her mom out, like out on a convention and stuff like that, like she's out of state, but she's also not going to stay with her mom. Instead, her mom booked her a motel, and her mom made sure to let her know. However, Jules don't check her freaking email. Like, she doesn't check her email. She don't check anything, to be honest, because her mom gave her a whole lot of time. I'm thinking it was either 2 months or 3 weeks in advance. I'm thinking it was 2 months. But yeah, and so, and of course, Jules, she ain't having, she don't like that and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, like, you can't take it out on Flint. It's not Flint problem, but also Flint kind of, because I kind of agree with Flint, because, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Flint personality is very blunt, and the things Flint says, I agree with, but the way okay, I'm not gonna say the way they say it, but the attitude they have, it's like, please don't have that type of attitude. Like, I understand how you feel, but it's like, you ain't gotta have that attitude. But I can understand the way Flint feels, because, like, because Jules is 30 now. She's in her 30s. And basically, it's like, Flint even says, like, you're in your 30s. You mean to tell me you couldn't find you a apartment here? Like, you couldn't have, because, like, yeah, you couldn't have find you a apartment. Instead, you wanted to, like, stay with your mom. You couldn't have find an apartment to live in. Like, you seem like you are a capable human being. Not to mention, you, like, the profession that you chose, you're a doctor. So it's like, you mean to tell me you couldn't have, like, you could have got your stuff together? But it's like the attitude that Flint gave that rubbed me the wrong way. Because it's like, I understand exactly what Flint's saying, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, like, you knew you was coming to Seattle. So you mean to tell me while you was while you was like out here, you couldn't have, like, scouted for potential apartments and stuff like that? Like, I agree with Flint. But anyway, it seemed like they got off on the wrong foot. Well, yeah, they did get off on the wrong foot, but they become cordial, like, as soon as Flint drops Jules off at the motel, and also gives her the keys to the car, because her mom said that she could use the car, because I'm assuming her mom has a whole lot of cars. That's what I'm assuming. And of course, Jules end up taking Flint home and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. They become, like, kind of cool for a minute. And then, not only that, but Jules, like, she's like, I ain't trying to stay at no motel. That's just not my thing. So she asks Kennedy, can she help her find an apartment? Kennedy does help her find 3 apartments and stuff like that. But also, Kennedy, it was like, yeah, don't make this a habit. And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, because I was like, it's like, mind you getting thrown into this. Like, you know how in other romance club stories, like, you get thrown into stuff too, but, like, the people, it depends on what you say to the person, if the person could be an enemy or a friend. But in this one, I was like, oh, and she was like, don't make this a habit. I was like, wait, what she mean? This is a one-time thing. I was like, what? In my mind, I'm thinking, like, what she mean? Because I was like, what? And then Jules even was like, okay. Like, the way Jules was like, okay, and stuff like that. And Kennedy was like, no, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that, like, we can't be we can't be friends or anything and stuff like that, because they are friends, and Kennedy does consider her to be her friend. But what Kennedy meant, because the way Jules, I ain't gonna lie, she reacted the way I reacted, because it's like, excuse me? Like, wait, this is a one-time thing anyway. I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. But then we realized the reason why Kennedy said what she said was because Jules don't have no boundaries with Kennedy. and stuff like that. She's always using Kennedy to do stuff for her. And I'm like, okay, no wonder why Kennedy is like, okay, now I agree with Kennedy. Now I take it back. Because I was like, okay, now I take it back. Because I was like, okay, now I understand why Kennedy said, yeah, let this be the last time. Yep. Let me clap for that. Yep. I agree with Kennedy. Let this be the last time. Because really, Jules, you couldn't, again, it's like, for you to be a doctor, and I'm pretty sure you are a successful doctor, because like you still in this field. It's like, I don't know, like you treating people all kind of ways, but I do like the fact that Jules did apologize, because like she even realized, she was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, she was mortified, and I love that. I love the fact that Jules understands, like, she could take advantage of people, and Kennedy was like, "Hey, it's fine. I mean, I do like helping you, but I just want you to know that, like," and Jules, like, she understands that. A matter of fact, she's not going to like do that anymore, and also she's going to like help nurture the friendship between her and Kennedy. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Like Jules is going to like nurture her friendship with her and Kennedy. And during this time we also meet, what's his name again? Nahome. We meet him and stuff like that, but we don't really get his personality. He just gives you your drink and that's it. Like, he makes conversation with Kennedy, but that's about it. And then we get after we look at, because like you get three options um of an apartment. You get like one that's like sophisticated, you get one that's cozy, and then you just get like the basic apartment. I got the cozy one because, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a cozy person, so I got that one. And also because the cozy one had more personality, in my opinion, than the sophisticated one, and of course it had more personality than the basic. But anyway, so then after that, um, she goes to the hospital to get introduced to people and things like that. And of course, we meet Tobias. We meet I'm trying to figure out, do we? I don't think we meet Gail into episode 2, but yeah, we do meet Tobias. And of course, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, when, I don't know why I didn't mention this earlier, but like in the beginning of episode 1, you're on the airplane, and one of the pilots has an episode, and you have to help make the right choices for the episode. So you have been warned. So like, if you do play this, be mindful of like the choices you choose, because if you choose the right choice, well, it depends on if you choose. Well, it doesn't matter. Like, if you choose the wrong choice or the bad choice, it gets back to Tobias, and he would either praise you or probably talk down to you, and stuff like that. However, because Jules did good, like, she was able to help the guy, the pilot, Tobias, he praised her a little bit and things like that. Not much happens, in my opinion, other than like, her getting like introduced to different nurses and doctors in the hospital. Also, not only that, but we get to see, well, I talk about more about Jules' personality later, but like nothing much happens into episode 1 as much, other than like what happened in in the beginning of episode 1, which like the airplane situation. And then at the end of episode 1 we leave off because like I think there's a car wreck and stuff like that. And then we get into episode 2 about like the car wreck. And Jules is able to help. I want to say either both. I want to say one of the girls, one of the friends that was in the car accident, because she seemed like she needed the most help. Not only is she dealing with that, but she also is dealing with her other patient that she has, which is a guy who it seems like he they don't know if he was drugged or not. Well, no, I think they did know that like it didn't seem like he was drugged or anything like that, but like he did have high he had something about he had something high. I want to say his glucose and stuff like that. That was high in a sense. And while like I said, while Jules is trying to do that, she's also getting to know. This is where, like, I want to say episode 2, this is where we actually get to meet Gail and Eugene and I want to say Dakota. We don't talk to Dakota that much, but we do talk to Eugene and things like that. And depending on what you say to Eugene, you could either like, well, not only does it depend on what you say, but it depends on your love interests. Like if you are someone that's like, hey, I take anybody and stuff, and not in like a bad way, but like in a way like you don't mind like male, female, non-binary, like it don't matter. You are for everyone. If that's the case, then what you say to Eugene would depend if you are on a it depends if you are on like a romantic route with him and Dakota. Now you can't just be with him. You have to also be with Dakota. So keep that in mind. And stuff like that. So if you are playing heterosexual here or gay, if you playing heterosexual or gay, I'm thinking you got only, if you're playing heterosexual, I feel like your only options are Tobias and Eugene. The lesbian option, I'm thinking is only, it's only Gail and stuff like that. I want to say Gail. I gotta look up Kennedy because I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to make sure I don't be wrong about Kennedy. Because again, like I said, they do like when you do look up this stuff, because you can look up the summary and things like that. When you do look it up, you'll see something along, like when they describing Kennedy, they say they and stuff like that. So, okay, her gender is female. Okay, never mind. Well, sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry about that. But anyways, what else happens? Again, I'm like nothing like really interesting happened other than like the whole like hospital scenes and things like that. And then we also get to meet Kennedy's mom. Well, also Jules also, we get to talk to Tobias a lot more and stuff like that. And depending on how you see Tobias and stuff like that, like it could seem like he's either interested in Kennedy, like in something more, or just a friendship only. Again, like I said, it depends on how you move with that. But we do end up meeting Annette, Jules' mom, and she's telling Jules like she's proud of her and things like that. And also she's apologizing for like not wanting Jules at the house, because like, okay, first she's getting the house renovated, but not only that, she realizes that she loves having the house to herself and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I understand, like, I can understand that, but it's like, it's a big house though. But I was like, I can understand, but it's a big house though, because like the way Jules described it, it's like she wouldn't be in her mama's way anyway. So it's like, okay, but you know what, we not gonna But Annette does, I want to say Annette gives Jules like a housewarming present, because she finds out that like Jules has an apartment now. And it's like 3 of them. I forgot what one of them is. I forgot what one of them is, but like one is a betta fish and the other one is a bonsai tree and things like that. And I want to say episode 2 ends, it don't really end on a cliffhanger in a way like most romance club stories end on. Like, to me personally, I don't really think it's a cliffhanger. Like, it just ends up with her like in the hospital, like, about to do her job and stuff like that. That, and I also forgot if there was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, now that I'm talking about this now, I'm thinking to myself, for me personally, Cold Blue isn't really for me per se. I mean, I'm still going to read it from beginning to end, like all the other books. I'm talking all the other books, all the other stories. Like, I'm still gonna play it from beginning to end. However, like, as a whole, I'm gonna be honest, cause like I was actually skeptic about Cold Blue. Mainly because I'm thinking it was gonna give me open heart, like choices, like the story on choices is called Open Heart. That's like another medical story and things like that. I thought it was either gonna give me that type of vibe, Grey's Anatomy, Hawthorne, ER, Strong Mess. Like, I'm thinking it's gonna give me one of those type of like vibes, but it gave me something different. I think that's what I like about it. I like the fact that it gave me something different. However, I don't know if I could rock with it because Jules as a person needs work. I'm just saying, because for people to just like, and even I forgot to also mention, but Jules also talks like, she has monologues to herself, and one of the monologues is like how she felt like she didn't understand why she didn't get chose to be at Seacrest in the first place, because she did residency there, but she didn't get picked. She ended up going to Colorado and stuff like that, and so she just didn't understand like why she didn't get picked back then. Like, even though she seems grateful now, like she seems ecstatic, she seems excited and stuff like that, it just seems like she has like a chip on her shoulder in a way. And it just seemed like, and the only reason why I said it seemed like she had a chip on her shoulder is because, like, Kennedy was already, like, Kennedy got picked to be at Seacrest. And before, like, yeah, she got picked to be there. And it seemed like, it just seemed like there was one moment Jules was like trying to figure out like how come Kennedy got picked but she didn't. And I'm thinking like, well, Kennedy seems likable. First of all, because like I'm not gonna lie, like when you see Kennedy as a person, she is likable. She's a sweetheart. So I'm thinking like, well, she's probably because not only is she practical, but she's probably also likable. You're not really likable, even when she basically interviewed for Seacrest, because I want to say, yeah, she interviewed to have a position at Seacrest, and they did end up picking her. But like even in her interview, like, I feel like it doesn't matter what choice you make. It, like, she just have an air about her that's like kind of like oh, like she knows she's the GOAT or something like that. Like she knows she's the best and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I understand that, like, she has to have the confidence. Like, my thing is, confidence isn't a problem. It's just that it just seems like she has an ego on her in a way, and I don't know how that makes me. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, Jules as a main character, I'm kind of side-eyeing. No, I'm not kind of, I am side-eyeing. Like, she's the only character on here, the only main character that I played so far that I side-eyed. Like, anybody else, oh, I'm cool, fine with it. Her, I'm like, I'm not so sure. Like, I like the fact that she is realistic, because, like, you know how some people, like, I like the fact that, like, she is honest about, like, things about herself. But however, it's just like her personality so far, I'm just not vibing with. I feel like even if you go with sympathy, because I go with sympathy, you still, like, you get like an air about her that still just isn't like, she just doesn't seem like the sweetest person and stuff like that. And I get it. Like, sometimes you can't always be a sweet person. But then again, it's like, again, some of the stories, some of the characters that I read, they don't come off as sweet as well, but they're still likable. Like, for instance, one of the stories that I'm doing on here, playing on Romance Club, I want to say In the Haze Will Take Us or something like that. The main character, what did I name her? I think I named her Senna or something like that. But yeah, she doesn't come off as warm and fuzzy. However, she is likable to me because of because like when you get to know her and when you see, especially in the beginning, she, again, she comes off kind of cold and stuff, but like, I'm okay with it. With Jules, it's like there's an air about her that just, like, she just seems like she's the best of the best. And even though she got into Seacrest, she's still kind of curious why she didn't get there in the first place. Again, it's like she has a chip on her shoulders in a way, and yeah, that kind of turns me off on this. Other than that, I would still play this, and I am going to continue to play it so that I could give y'all like my thoughts and opinions about season 1, because like yeah, like once seasons 1 is over with, then I do review on this. But so far, it's interesting. Again, not my cup of tea, but I'm still going to play it because there are stuff, like, I'm not gonna lie, I like the side characters, even though I'm side-eyed the main character. I do like the side characters because, like, they do have personality to them and things like that. And I want to get to know more about them, and also about Jules as well, because again, she seems unlikable at this moment, and I'm just hoping that she has a character development. I'm just hoping, because right now, yeah. But that's what I think overall about Cold Blue. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about Cold Blue, especially if you have played it already. Also, who are you interested in this story? Because so far I'm not interested in anyone at the moment in this story. Well, like, my two options are Tobias and Nahome. But, like, so far, because we haven't got to click with Nahome, I don't know what to think of him. But Tobias seems okay and things like that. Like, I feel like, to me, Tobias is the one that's going to, like, humble Jules, and I'm ready for it, because, like, I feel like Jules needs humbling in a way. Like, again, like, it's just the way she carries herself, and just her personality so far. But yeah, let me know what you guys like, who you guys are trying to romance and things like that. If you have made it this far, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate it, because I know I've been rambling, and yeah, so I appreciate you making it this far. And that's all I have to say about Cold Blue. I would definitely keep you guys up to date if there's any other news stories on Romance Club, and any news stories on any other apps that I talk about on my channel and things like that. So yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.